Hello and welcome to a demonstration of the Cost of Capital Navigator Excel add-in. My name is Aaron Russo and I am an analyst here at Duff Phelps. I am part of the team that created the web-based Cost of Capital Navigator and the Excel add-in. The Cost of Capital Navigator Excel add-in interacts directly with users' own Excel models and enables the analyst to import all of the Duff Phelps Cost of Capital data directly into their own Excel spreadsheets. Let's say I have my own cost of equity capital template saved in Excel, and I use this in all of my different engagements. I can go ahead and open my template and work directly in Excel without having to leave my own spreadsheet. Here we can see my cost of equity template that I always use. This is just the way I have it set up, but the user can set up their spreadsheet however they want. You may notice that I'm using only the CAPM method here, but there are various other methods I could use to calculate cost of equity with data from the Excel add-in. Up at the top, I have some assumptions for my cost of equity estimate, like the risk-free rate, the beta for the crisp decile size study, the beta for the risk premium report study, and the equity risk premium. Once I link these inputs, they will flow through to the equations below. I also have my subject company's size characteristics listed here. Note that all of these are denominated in US dollars and millions with the exception of number of employees. Once you've downloaded the add-in from the Microsoft Store, you will see it up at the top of your Excel window in the ribbon. Now you can click the launch icon to open up the add-in. Once opened, you can log in with the same credentials you used to log into the online Cost of Capital Navigator. The Excel add-in is organized into tabs. The first tab is a General Inputs tab, where I can enter in all of my subject company and engagement information up front if I want to, or I can come back later on and review all of my inputs. In the other tabs, I can get risk-free rates and equity risk premia, size premia and risk premia, betas and industry risk premia, and the last tab is a data summary, which will contain information about all of the data points I linked to my workbook. Let's go back to the Inputs tab and start with entering our general inputs. Our valuation date for this example is March 31st, 2016. Now I can select my subject company's industry. In this case, we'll use SIC 36 electronic and other electrical equipment. Eventually, I'll be able to change the home and the investee country, but currently the Cost of Capital Navigator only contains US data, so these are both locked at the United States. Further below, I can enter in or link from my spreadsheet my subject company's size characteristics, like their market value of common equity, book value of equity, net income, etc. Below that, I could enter in inputs for the risk study, which is another source of risk premia, or for the high financial risk study. I can also enter in my subject company's size and risk characteristics in the size and risk premia tab if I don't want to enter in everything up front. I'll go ahead and link up all of my company's size characteristics since I have them stored in my spreadsheet. Starting with the market value of common equity, or market cap, I can pull in the market cap value from my spreadsheet to use in the add-in. So I'll click into the cell that contains my market cap entry, then click the blue link icon in the add-in next to my market cap to pull my market cap from my spreadsheet into the add-in. If the linked value changes in my spreadsheet, that change will flow through to the add-in. Once linked, the add-in generates a link record below the value, so I know where in my spreadsheet this value is linked from. I can also click the link record to take me to that cell if I were somewhere else in my spreadsheet. If I realized that I linked to the wrong cell, I could break the link by clicking the break link icon next to the link record. Now I can go ahead and link up my remaining size metrics. Now that I've linked all of my size characteristics from my spreadsheet, I can go ahead and complete the assumptions section. The first thing I need is the risk-free rate. So I'll go back into the add-in into the risk-free rates and equity risk premia tab. Clicking into the risk-free rates accordion, I see that I have the option of choosing the spot 20-year treasury yield as of my valuation date, or the Duff Phelps normalized risk-free rate as of my valuation date. For this example, I'll use the spot 20-year treasury yield for my risk-free rate. To bring this value into my spreadsheet from the add-in, I click into the cell in my spreadsheet, and then I click the blue arrow icon next to the value in the add-in. Now we can see the spot 20-year treasury yield in the cell that I specified, and the cell is formatted in Duff Phelps colors so I know that it came from the Excel add-in. If I wanted to remove this value from my spreadsheet, I could either delete the value in the cell or click the undo icon next to the link record. But I'll go ahead and leave it there. Now I can see that my risk-free rate is flowing through to the equations below in my spreadsheet. The next thing I need for my assumptions section in my spreadsheet is a beta. So I can go into the add-in to the Betas and Industry Risk Premia tab. Note that these are all industry betas based on the SIC code I selected earlier, in this case SIC 36. Here I could type in a custom beta of say 1.2, or I could select one of the off-the-shelf betas the Navigator add-in has for me from the drop-down here. Here I could select the SIC 36 full information beta, the SIC 36 median Vasicek adjusted beta, the median sum beta for SIC 36, or the SIC 36 HFR composite beta. I'm going to use the median Vasicek adjusted beta with the crisp decile size study and the median sum beta with the risk premium report study. I'm using different betas in the two studies to be more consistent with how size premia are calculated in the two studies. So I can go ahead and link these betas to their respective cells in my spreadsheet. I'll start with the median Vasicek adjusted beta and link that to the crisp beta in my spreadsheet. Now in the next beta section, I can select the sum beta and link that to my risk premium report beta in my spreadsheet. If I needed an industry risk premium for the build-up method, I could first select a beta, then choose an equity risk premium, and the Navigator would automatically calculate the industry risk premium for me. But since I'm using the CAPM method, all I need is a beta. The last thing I need to complete my assumptions section in my spreadsheet is the equity risk premium. So I can go back to the RiskFree Rates and ERP tab in the add-in. Going into the equity risk premia section, I can see that I can select the Duff Phelps recommended ERP or one of the historical long-term ERPs. For this example, I'll go ahead and use the historical long-term 1926 to present ERP of 6.9%. Now I can see the risk-free rate, the betas, and the equity risk premia flowing through to the equations in my spreadsheet. To complete my CAPM equations, I need the size premia. So I can go to the Size and Risk Premia tab in the Excel add-in. This tab is organized into three studies. The Crisp Decile Size Study, which calculates size premia based off of market cap, the Risk Premium Report Study, which calculates size premia and risk premia based on market cap plus 7 additional measures of size, and the High Financial Risk Study. Let's go ahead and start with the Crisp Decile Size Study. Earlier on, I linked from my spreadsheet to the add-in my subject company's market cap of 120 million. If I didn't yet enter in my market cap, or if I wanted to view or modify my entry, I could click this black edit icon next to my size premium and view or modify my market cap entry. I'll go ahead and leave it at 120 million, which is linked to sheet 1, cell K3. Based on my market cap entry of 120 million, the Navigator mapped me to decile 10, which comprises companies ranging in market cap from 1.9 million to 209 million. I could also select the microcap size grouping, which is a broader measure and combines both deciles 9 and 10. Since I fell in decile 10, I could also choose one of the decile 10 breakdown options, in this case decile 10A or decile 10X. For this example, let's just go ahead and use the decile 10 size premium of 5.6%, so I can go ahead and link that to the size premium in my crisp decile size study equation. Now that I've completed my crisp decile size study CAPM equation, I'll go get the size premia to complete my risk premium report equations. So I'll minimize the crisp section, go into the risk premium report study, size study since I'm using size metrics to estimate my size premia, then go into the size premium section. Here I can see the size premia from the risk premium report study for each of the 8 size measures I entered earlier on, along with the portfolio I fell into and the portfolio's breakpoints. I can also see the size premia for the regression equation method, which calculates interpolated size premia based on my direct size measure entry. For this example, I'll just go ahead and use the guideline portfolio method for all of my risk premium report study size premia. So now I can link all of my size premia from the risk premium report study in the add-in to their respective cells in my spreadsheet. I've now used the CAPM method to calculate cost of equity for my subject company using the crisp decile size study and all 8 measures of size available in the Risk Premium Report study. The nice thing about the add-in is that all the work I've done is saved and all of the linked data is live. By live, I mean that I can go back into the add-in and change, for example, my valuation date or some size measures, and the linked data in my spreadsheet will automatically update. If I close out of my workbook and reopen, everything I've done will be saved. I can also copy the workbook and update the analysis for a different subject company or a different valuation date if I wish. For documentation of my results, I can go to the Data Summary tab in the add-in, which will display information about each data point I used in my spreadsheet and contains the location of each data point in my spreadsheet. Going into each section, I can click the Generate Summary button, which will generate a list of each data point I linked to my spreadsheet, along with its location in my spreadsheet and additional information about the data point. Finally, I can export this information to my Excel workbook for documentation by clicking the Export to Excel button. Thank you for watching this demonstration of the Cost of Capital Navigator Excel add-in. For more information and to subscribe, please visit your preferred vendor.